Tony Virtue speaking, Virtue and Partners, with our regular monthly update, and that time of the year in August where we have our end of year earnings coming through. So this will be a busy few weeks for all the analysts as we try to get a sense of how the economy is going. So far so good. We have a thing called the confession season in July, where if you're really not going to hit your targets, you're meant to tell the markets. So we're not expecting too many surprises, but let's see what happens over the next few weeks. More generally, a bit of optimism out there, I think, globally. So re-rating of GDP numbers up, mainly based on China looking pretty solid. Overseas, the Dow hit 22,000 for the first time, and again you wonder then, well, we're reaching a point where we're reaching a bit of a peak. But let's just look under the bonnet and see what is driving this. Well, there's a number of things. The first thing is just the growing efficiency we're having through access to better online systems, and we're seeing that coming through business now. We're seeing that in profitability. We're seeing that in higher skill sets of people working in businesses. One of the net effects of that, and you can see that in the graph, is that really there's been wage stagnation. So both here, exactly the same in the US, in Britain, wages are not going up and efficiency is coming through. But perhaps people are getting more value out of the money they do have. So it's not just what we actually have in our pockets that matters, it's what actually buys us there. Another subsection of that has been the growth of the property market in the urban cities. So again, data in here on how Sydney and Melbourne have been going, and you'd expect Brisbane to catch up pretty soon. This again is a global effect. You see exactly the same if you're on the Thames in London, if you're in Hong Kong today, if you're in Vancouver. So this move towards urbanisation, convenience, what we talk about, this Waitrose effect of efficient living is very much alive and well. From an interest rate point of view, the banks have subtly started lifting interest rates. So based on this APRA speed limit, you can only grow your portfolio by 10%. Well, the obvious thing to do is charge people more. We'll see how that plays out. To some extent, that is doing the RBA's heavy lifting. And earlier this week, for the 11th straight month, the RBA did not change interest rates. Looking at the bond curve 5 years out, we're only looking at possibly 100 basis points in 5 years' time. So at the moment, interest rates look very benign. While debt levels have certainly grown in this community, it's important to look at the actual net assets. So there's been this enormous wealth effect in our major cities where people's homes have gone up very significantly in value, and one option for them is to borrow against that asset. Another is to sell that, it'd be capital gains tax free, and to downsize. So part of this urbanisation in the city is coming from people selling big homes and moving into the city, and a bit of a lock-up and a more convenient life. So it's been a huge windfall for our community. The residential property market now is at $6 trillion. By contrast, superannuation for the country is at $2 trillion, the fourth largest in the world. Our equity market's 1.6. So we're looking at some pretty big numbers. The challenge, of course, is the inequality of all of this, and how do our kids get started. That's one of the things that we're focusing on, obviously, in the practice. But we should be pleased that for those of us that had that opportunity, and it's a case now being good stewards of what we do with that windfall. Locally, we're as busy as ever. We're going to extend hours on a Thursday up to 7 o'clock now. It's quite clear that people need to see me out of work hours. And I'll be working most Saturday mornings now. So again, I think it's a lot easier when we can just wind down a little bit and make strategic decisions. But we're working hard here. We're fine. We're stable. If I can use the word independent still, we're here for you. And I look forward to talking to you again this time next month. Thank you.